All right, hello and welcome back. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going over, as part of the Rankin Technical College Summer Adventure Academy website design, a bootstrap website built virtually from scratch. And we're up to part 3. In part 1, we had just our hello world as we copied in the template. In part 2, we added our own navbar. And in part 3, in part 3, we added in our own footer. We're going to add to the footer in this particular lecture. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to take everything that's in my part 3, copy it to the clipboard as I have been doing, go into part 4, which is empty, and paste it in. All right. So in part 4, I want to open this up. Okay. Now, Bootstrap 3, as we already learned, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, came with a bunch of built-in what are called glyph icons, although some call them glyph icons, but they're little pictures, they're little images that you can use. All right? Those have gone away in Bootstrap 4, and they've been replaced by basically coming in and adding your own. What I want to do is I want to go out to a website, and I want that website that I go out to be font awesome. So I'm going to type in here font awesome. All right, and there's the Font Awesome website, and as you notice, it's fontawesome.io, but since I'm trying to be complete here, I'm going to add that to my list of URLs. All right, and what do I want to do? The first thing I want to do is I want to download Font Awesome. All right, do I have to download Font Awesome? Actually, I believe I really don't. I think there's what's called a CDN for it. Let's see. So let's put in this. We're going to keep that up there, but I'm going to type in here Font Awesome CDN, which means that rather than me having to go and put that in, I can just copy this and I'll have the system go out to the internet and add it. Now, what I just said might be a little bit confusing. Okay, so right up above my own CSS file, I'm going to add that right here. Not sure exactly if it matters where I add it, but so I'm going to link to Font Awesome. When you come in here and you do this, this is what I want to get across to you. So link href equals, this is the Font Awesome, rel equals style sheet. You've got two ways that you can work with files on a website, especially files along, the type that we're talking about. Here, I have brought that file in, and I'm actually using it. I've copied it. I'm using it. But if I didn't want to do that, I could use what's called a CDN, or a content delivery system, where I would reference that same file out on the internet. The advantage of doing this, like here, so I'm going to say link to Font Awesome via CDN, which again stands for Content Delivery Network. All right. The advantage of doing this is I don't have to download it. So it's one less thing I have to worry about maintaining. My website will be a little smaller and it'll load faster because I don't have to load this. That's the good news. The bad news is if I don't have an internet connection, I'm not going to be able to use this. So there's pluses and minuses. All right. Let's save that. Right now, if we go and run this, you're going to notice, let me move these over, that right now, part 4 looks just like what we just did. We haven't done anything to it yet. All right, so we're going to come in and we're going to fix that as soon as I finish that. All right, so we're going to come in and start to fix that right now. Now, what we want to do is down on the bottom here, all right, we had our navigation, we had our footer text, all that other stuff right there. But in my big div that I've got here, my nav bar inverse, etc., all this stuff, so after I've got my header text, I'm going to put another thing in here. I'm going to say div class equal navbar text pull right. So these are going to be our social media icons that we're going to put in just a moment. Again, I have found, as I'm putting in this documentation with these comments like I'm showing you, if I do it as I'm creating it, it doesn't really take much more time. All right, so href equal, and let's find, so we've got it, let's find, the first one we're going to do is Facebook. So Rankin Technical College Facebook page, right there. All right, there's their home for Facebook. There it is. Okay, so we've got that. All right. So I'm going to say href equals, and I'm going to put in that. Okay? And I'm going to run out of room here, so I'm going to just keep going. Class equal FA dash Facebook, and there's different Facebook icons that you can use. How do I know that? Well, if I go out to my Font Awesome, where I just was, if I go out to Font Awesome here, I don't need that CDN anymore, so if I go out to here, and I start to look, somewhere in here, one font, etc., icons, getting started, here's icons. So these are the icons that are available to you, and they're in different categories. I think one of them says social media icons, if I'm right. Form control payment, text editor, video player, brand. Well, there's brand. I don't know if it's in there or not. There's Facebook. All right. And there's a bunch of different Facebook ones that I can use. So if I wanted to use this official Facebook, all I have to do is add this line right here. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to do something similar to that. So I'm saying FA, which means Font Awesome. I want to add the Font Awesome Facebook. And I want to use the one that's square. All right. And for right now, I'm going to add a little bit more to it in just a second. Okay, let's see what that did. It's kind of hard to see there, but there's the Facebook icon. Okay, right there. Not very big. So let's change the size of that by, after Facebook square, we're going to say FA-2x. We're going to make it twice the size that it was. And it's easiest again to show you. There it is. But notice if I refresh, it's now double the size that it was. And if I click on it, it's going to Rankin's Facebook page. Now I probably want to at least try to open that up into a new window. So I really should come in here and say target equal blank, which means open that up in a blank window. So let's try that one more time. Here's our page. I'm going to refresh. And notice my last thing here says Bootstrap, etc. When I click that, it opened up a new tab. That's a good thing. All right. So I'm going to go in and add a couple more of these. And as you saw when we went over here and we looked, there are a boatload. So in other words, if I type in Twitter, there's Twitter. All right. maybe we'll do the Twitter square too. And somewhere in there, it doesn't show it, but somewhere, text editor, directional, brand icons. Somewhere in here is Google, it's Google Plus is what we want. We'll use the square for all of them, so we get a little bit of uniformity. All right, and rather than starting from scratch, I'm going to go and, I'm going to go and take this. I'm going to copy all of this, and I'm going to paste it. All right, instead of saying Facebook here, now we got to find their Twitter page. So, Rankin Technical College Twitter page. There it is. So again, that's Twitter. I'm opening it in a new one. This will be Twitter. Whoops. We'll use the square, and we'll again make it 2 times its size. All right, let's see what that did. All right, there's our Facebook, and there's our Twitter. And Twitter gets us in a new window, open to the Rankin Technical College Twitter page. It's good. All right. And then finally, let's do Google Plus. Again, rather than having to start new all the time. All right. I don't know if there is a Google Plus page for Rankin Technical College, but we're going to find out right now. Rankin Technical College Google Plus. I knew there was a reason I used that. All right. So, and we're going to use here Google Plus. And let's go and run it one more time. Now we've got our 3 icons, and if we click Google Plus in a new window, we go to the Google Plus page. All right, the only thing that I don't like, so I can close this and close this, close that and close that. All right, so this is where I am now. And the only thing that I don't like is the fact that this really could be pushed over a little further. Okay? And I'm sorry, I've got a phone call, so hold on just one sec. All right, sorry about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make these changes to my style.css file. The first thing that I'm going to change, in fact, let's bring it up, because that file right now on here is empty. So CSS, let's bring up our style file. That's empty, and we're going to add this. This says that any hyperlinks that we have in here, color inherit, text decoration none. Well, what does that mean? Color inherit, did you notice this? I'm asking you, did you notice how these are blue? And that's okay. And I think Facebook's icon is, or else Twitter's, one of them is blue anyway, but I don't like that coloring. So I'm going to say, just set it to the same color, set it to the same color that the background is, basically. And it'll look like it's a grayish. And make sure there's no underlining, and also make it 1.5 times the size that it was. So let me save that. And again, the easiest way is always to show you, so let me refresh. Okay? Still don't like the fact that that looks like it should be pushed over a little. I don't know, hopefully I'm going to fix it right now, but we'll see. I may make it worse, so if this doesn't work, I'm going to remove it. But I'm going to say here, margin right, 50 pixels. In fact, I don't like working in pixels, so let's say 3.5 ems. If this works, we'll know it right away because this will be pushed over. And if it doesn't work, and I'm just going to remove it. All right, I'll have to check on that. Okay, we'll eventually move that over probably a little bit. That's pretty much it for part 4. So this is the first time we went in and we added some of our own CSS. Again, we turned off the coloring, we made sure there was no underlines, and we tried to make the font size a little bit bigger. Okay? All right. So that was the footer text. That's what we have right now. So, I haven't been doing this lately, but I'm going to do it like this now anyway, and that is, I am now done with part 4 of what I'm working on here. So I'm going to highlight everything, copy it to the clipboard, go over to part 5, which is empty, paste it in, change that to part 5. You notice there's a method to my madness, and I'm trying to at least do this stuff basically the same way every time. All right? So when I come back, I'm going to be going over part 5. And part 5, we're going to be adding some more Bootstrap code. Right now, we don't have anything in the body that we're working on, so we're going to fix that. So right now, remember, it looks just like this. So this now says, there was part 1, there was part 2, there was part 3. Well, I guess I don't have part 3, so let me fix that. There was part 3. There was part 4. All right, so part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And right now, we don't have anything new in part 5 other than the fact that it now says part 5. So I'll come back to work on that in just a couple minutes.